um, I think that should be better. Just let me know, guys. Microphone is in a bear market. Yeah, seems that way. Yeah, cheers, Ben. Um, yeah, I've turned the volume up as well from last week, so it should be a little bit louder as well. Um, so yeah, I just wanted to start out with Bitcoin dominance. I mean, over the last couple of hours, people again been getting excited here, but not really hitting our Bitcoin dominance lower time frame target of a. Because on a 3 daily time frame, this is actually just a wick, and we want to see 50 to 61% of that filled. What we have done though is just about hit that wick to candle body trend line to the upside. I was looking for these to be hit, whereas the time span that Bitcoin dominance is now showing us on the lower time frame with that first hit, it potentially says to me that let's extend this line out here and potentially look for an upside move back to these levels. And that just potentially means we get a little bit more of a wick fill up here on this lower time frame move for Bitcoin dominance, because yeah, like I say, everyone was kind of getting excited here in the past early hours of the morning, saying alt season starting. But usually we know when you see these candle wick to candle body trend lines to the upside or to the downside, you usually get one or two tests. Cheers, Dylan. Cheers, Dill. Yeah, usually get one. Sorry, not one. Usually get two or three tests, to be honest. So there's your first test of the wick to body trend line to the upside. Potentially looking for the second one to come in. And yeah, that really is the Bitcoin dominance on the lower time frame. Higher time frame, I'm still looking to the downside, guys. Still looking at them much lower levels, around 40. And I think what we can do right now is just take a couple of wick to wick trend lines, and potentially we're looking for that overthrow to start happening. Look for that lower time frame move to go back up for Bitcoin dominance, and yeah, I'm then looking for a move down with your first fake bounce and then the overthrow to hit that 40% region. How long that takes, I don't know. I have no idea. People always ask about time, and time is one of the hardest things to measure in the market, because it's one of the things that makes people quit their positions. Time. It's actually easier, in my opinion, watching the price of altcoins or Bitcoin go down. The hardest part is when the altcoins go down or Bitcoin goes down and it gets in that bear market and it goes in for all that accumulation. That's the hard part. The hard part is time. So we never know, guys, on how long it's going to take. But my overall perspective on the higher time frame of Bitcoin dominance, take it to the 3 day, get a better idea here, is the fact that we're heading down, and we're heading down to these bullish candle breakers right there. 43, back to the range lows, 40. I've said it before, I don't quite think that we're going to break the lows here on Bitcoin dominance. If you remember rightly, I don't know how long everyone's been here, but if you've been here from these times in the market, calling for that Bitcoin dominance to come up and hit these bearish break candles, it literally hit it to a pinpoint precision. We saw what moves some of the altcoins had with this little drop. Now imagine a major drop back here, and we've seen over the past couple of weeks, people really are now quitting the market sentiment of saying that alt season's never going to happen. One sec, guys, let me just have a sip of my green tea. Just been to the gym, just been to the sauna, enjoying a green tea and enjoying the stream. Yeah, a lot of people are saying now that the alt season's never going to happen, and I do think it is. Every cycle we've had an alt season, so that is implying that this time is different, that we're not going to get a drop in the altcoin market. We're not going to get this drop. But why is that? Because the market's already come back here. It was the same people, guys, that down here when Bitcoin dominance was low, they were saying, yeah, right, we're not going back up here. You're having a laugh. Now these people are saying, yeah, right, we're not going back down here. Same people, same sentiment. However, the people that was calling for the dominance to go up and now we're looking for the downturn. And that's very similar with FBTC. Very, very similar. In my opinion, we've seen absolutely everything that we wanted to see here on FBTC. From absolute range highs, coming down, I mean, it's just pinpoint the bearish break candle here that we've been looking for years. Again, I don't know how long everyone's been around, but we started calling for that dominance FBTC to start dropping as the Bitcoin dominance was to go up, and we've kind of seen this trend line respected, and now we're starting to get the overthrows into the big bullish candles. So, I mean, it is literally everything that we wanted to see. If we did want to see a further move down, I don't think we will, to be honest. I think this is it. But if we did, all I'd be doing is targeting these wicks. It's almost akin to the run-up in 2017 for Bitcoin. 2018, sorry. Into 2019, where Bitcoin ran up like this, and then the COVID crash happened, and they came back to these exact levels where we had these levels here. So whether it is 0.32 or 0.029, it don't make too much of a difference, guys, in terms of spot accumulation for alts. I've said the other day, I've been quite lucky when it comes to the altcoins. Whether you can call it luck or whether you want to call it skill, I don't know. I do think I've been quite lucky with my main holdings of like XRP and HBAR being the ones that have absolutely rocketed thousands of %. And it makes it easier, yeah, and there's a lot of people that are holding different coins because reality is people get suckered into some random coins and they want to throw a lot of money at it. When it comes to low caps, guys, like when I mentioned LNQ, like Link AI, it's never more than 3 or 4% of my portfolio. I'll never do it. I stick to the majors. I stick to things like XRP and HBAR in the bear markets. Even things like Chainlink, people forget about it when it's at its lows. And we see the market rise and we see these dinosaur coins rise. And people get left behind. And what they'll do is they'll flip-flap down here with their altcoins. They'll try and sell some of their altcoins to chase the ones that are pumping already. And yeah, they might get another 100%, but then their alt starts to take off. So they use a bit of this profit to try and use down here. And it's just a constant cycle of trying to use that little bit of profit that they make at the high to rotate into these highs and then use that little bit of profit. And in the end, it's almost like a roulette spin where at the end you're going to make a bad decision and lose it all again. So that is how most of the people lose their money in the market. It's even if you've held throughout the bear market, you've made money on Bitcoin, you've managed to rotate into some like XRP and HBAR, people can still lose and be losers of the cycle if they're not careful, if they're not rationalising a certain percentage of them profit takes to put back in the market. It's not, you know, you don't want to be putting more than 50% of your profits back in. That's your hedge. That's your hedge against the market downturn. That's how you stay market totally unemotional in the market. So yeah, FBTC here. I think we're looking at a bottoming process. Whether we need that spike into these bearish candles as well, I don't know, guys. But the fact of the matter remains, I think Ethereum, Bitcoin is bottoming in and around this region for a move at least back to these key levels. That's a meteoric. Let's take a look at the rise on that. Somewhat of 150% move. People call it impossible, but people also called Bitcoin's rise to all-time highs from 15,000 impossible. And all we're doing is talking about a simple retracement here. And again, people are starting to believe that it won't happen. Back to that 75 to 78% region. Very key level, very important level, a very historical level as well. Take a look at this. On the higher time frame, that was the big bearish candle breakdown level of the bear market 2018. So, in my opinion, the market's already returned to these levels, gone through a distribution phase, going through an accumulation phase, in my opinion, to return back to these levels. Let's take a look at the percentage drawdown from the highs on FBTC. Right now we're looking at about 64, nearly even 70%. So, in my opinion, enough. That is enough of a drawdown for FBTC, and it's enough of a drawdown for the altcoin market and market sentiment to be absolutely ridiculed. So let's take a look at some of the comments. Lower time frame Bitcoin moves people calling for 92,000. Let's take a look at Bitcoin then. Try and keep it rational. Try and keep it in a relaxed approach. I was almost looking for something like this, guys. I was looking for a bit more of a push, which I think we could get. And I do believe that could send them altcoins and that total 2 and the total market cap, which we will have a look at. We'll potentially have a look at here, into them high targets for the dump. And I do believe that is potentially when we start to see that big capital rotation. I don't know how many people was around or have studied the previous cycles of Bitcoin, but there was a time in 2017, show you here. Yeah, there was a time in 2017 where Bitcoin was at these highs and the altcoins still hadn't really run. So take a look at that move, and the altcoins hadn't run, and then you get a big correction, and it was at this point where the alts really started to take over. So something like that, where you get the push into the high and the drop, where the altcoins really do hold their levels and they potentially push into the others chart targets and the total market cap chart targets for, again, that final push in the market. Yep, Bitcoin might do a 50, 60, 70, maybe even 100% move again. But our attention is on the altcoins right now, because look at Bitcoin. It's done its move, in my opinion. It's done most of its move. Let's say right now, in terms of percentages. Okay. There you go, 600%. Any investment that you get 600% on. If you're not taking profit, I just don't know what to say. So, from the highs that we're at now, even if Bitcoin was to go to, let's say, 300,000, I don't think it's getting there. It's only 170, 150% more. But from the lows, you're talking about nearly 2,000%. Enough of a bull market easily. But for the people entering Bitcoin now, I get it. I get the fact that it's Bitcoin. I get the fact that it's the staple foundation of the cryptocurrency market. And I get the fact it leads the market as well, in terms of Bitcoin dominance. But now we're looking to the downside on Bitcoin dominance, and we're looking to the upside now on FBTC. So these are the moments where I believe we're entering the final phase, the most exciting part of the market, where the altcoins take over, and it's as simple as that. That's the way I'm looking at it, and that's been my thought process since 2022 and 2023. I'll just take another sip of this green tea. I'm usually a coffee guy, but tonight it's green tea. I've had a sauna, so it's yeah, just keeping that flushing out the toxins type of thing. So Bitcoin on lower time frame, absolute lower time frame. Let's take a look. We've got total manipulation here in the market. So I've put this out on Twitter the other day, and I said, what do you see here? What can you explain? A lot of people say, oh yeah, we're looking for the range lows, range highs. The fact of the matter is, guys, I put this out here because we started to see a consolidation period. What the market has done already in that little consolidation period is try to build some longs and shorts for people to enter. It's taken the longs out, it's taken the shorts out, it's done it once or twice, and now it's starting to hover here. I think in the end, the market makers are going to take out these highs and they're going to take out these lows. And I think for the lower time frame highs, a simple thing that we can do is on this range, pull the extensions. There we go. We get that potential push into the high that I was talking about. We're looking at about 115,000 for the next key region. And it's at that point then where we could potentially see the type of correction that I was talking about. Maybe something like that, where akin to the 2017 style correction, the altcoins hold their own, Bitcoin dominance falls, comes down to key targets here. That would be a perfect expanding flat. All of the liquidity here, liquidity building in this range, take it all in one and go for the final phase of the market. I do believe that's potentially what we're looking at on the lower time frame. But again, the lower time frame is absolutely... You're almost taking a gamble when you're looking at the lower time frame. So much more manipulated. I always like to stick to the higher time frames. You know it, guys. It's been the staple foundation of being able to hold throughout the bear market and enter the market and look for them free psychological drives, where we're looking at fair psychological drive, bit of naysayers saying this is a bear market rally. Second psychological drive, we've got a bit of optimism returning. We're looking at our third psychological drive where we want to see the mania phase. And during the ending phase of that third psychological drive where we are now, we get the people entering who want to be geniuses. The market gives it them. It gives it a little bit of success. We know the market likes to do it. Goes in for an overthrow, goes in for some maybe 140, 150 targets that we've got, and then goes in for the bear market. And whether we go for a big long style, year long, 2 year long, 3 year long style correction, dot-com bubble crash style, it's yet to be seen. The faster it is, the better, in my opinion, because we can get it over and done with, and we can start, maybe not that low, guys, not into the minus, but we can start accumulating again and setting our buys, setting our strategic plans where we look for them buys at key levels, and then as the price falls lower, we double the buys, and we hope, we gamble, the market returns to the upside. But we also know, guys, the market can return to the downside. It does it every single cycle, so maintain composure. Yeah, I would say, guys, instead of asking for very specific altcoins, is there anything that you want to ask in terms of the market sentiment or what I'm thinking about certain things? It's really hard to go through very different... it's very hard to go through very different altcoins all the time. But I will take a look at a couple that you've mentioned here. LTCN Ranga, okay. LTCN. Okay, so it's Grayscale Litecoin Trust. Oh, it seems I've already charted this before. Yeah, I think it was up here where I was potentially targeting the final move down. What I'd look for here is look for the indecision candles here. We've got the range set on LTC Grayscale. We've got the range there. Just get it pinpoint on. There we go. We've got the range there, and we've got another intermediate range there where the market makers have taken the highs and taken the lows. Potentially looking for that spike down of this range. So pull your fibs on this range, and you're potentially looking at the entry of $9. And if you want to pull another range and look for a potential expanding flat correction to the downside, no, there's no confluence there. Absolutely no confluence. Yeah, in terms of entries on this, I would potentially be looking for this negative 27% and look for the confluence of the wick to body trend line hit. So let's get that perfect. Let's get it nailed on, and we can see where that is. All right. So that potentially gives you a little bit of a timeline for a drop and the market to complete a bit of accumulation here. And look for the retraces. We always look for the candle fills on the monthly time frame. So the first major high time frame target is going to be the $40 to $41 level. From current levels, I mean, it's a nice risk to reward trade, but looking at the key big bullish breakout candles, I'd potentially have buy zone 1 at $9 and have buy zone 2 at $5 to $6. Increasing the buys at the lows. Of course, it's not financial advice, but that would be my plan if I was looking to enter Grayscale Litecoin Trust. Okay, what are my thoughts on the digital asset stockpile Trump mentioned? Yeah, I think it's just a narrative, guys. We've had it every single time, every single cycle. The good news narratives come out. It is good news, bullish long term, but it don't mean that we can't go in for a bear market again, like 1 or 2 years bear market in 26, 27. Just like FTX collapse didn't mean that we can't go in for a big bull market 2024, 2025. It's just a narrative, guys. Eagle. Okay, Alexander, we'll look at EGLD. Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've charted this one as well already. I think I was creating a bit of a plan back down at the lows. Yeah, there was one time here. I think the last time I charted it was back in June 2023. And I called this drop down to that negative 27%, and the $25 level really was a nice entry. It ended up going down to about 22 for a nice TP up at around 70, so big move there. I was looking for a TP2 up and around these levels, but it didn't quite get it. It went in for a stop hunt for the market to return down to the levels. But what you've got here is equal highs, so right now on EGLD, higher time frame, remove all of this, I'd simply look for the bullish breakout level. There we go. And if we drop it down to the lower time frame, see if we can find some confluence for the targets to the downside. So what we've got here is a little range. Very nice range. Not even one single high or low has been broken. Pull the fibs from that range. Don't have to be perfect, guys. Look for that $26 level. $26 level, what does that coincide with? It comes back to this little consolidation level before the breakout. A lot of liquidity here, guys, resting because of this little trend line here. Market goes into attack, fake bounce, go. Something like that. Look for these bearish candles. You've got a high EV trade there of around 100%. Of course, that could be a 1-2 in the market and looking for a big third wave where your higher time frame targets would be. Let's take a look. Don't have to be nailed on these trend-based fibs, guys, but I like to get it pretty close. There you go. A big confluence level, 66 to 72. Higher levels, zooming out back to 138, 170. What does that coincide with on the higher time frame? Let's take a look at see if they coincide with bullish candle fills. Absolutely. There we go. Higher time frame target, guys, 177. So it depends how you want to play it. It depends how you want to enter and exit, depending on percentages at each level. Verasity low time frame. Coin should have a good bit of price action. Yeah, this is a perfect example, guys, of time being the limiting factor to people's. Yeah, this is one of the greatest charts actually. When you see these two wicks here, and you've already got your setup for the potential profit take zone for the overthrow into the 2-wick trend line. We've already had on the lower time frame a couple of pumps and dumps to get people in and out the market. 1, 2, 3, and this third one should psychologically really get people to give up. Look for the fill of this big bullish candle, big wick down to that. Let's take a look at where that is. About 0.00626. And then for a play like this, a little bit of a lower cap coin, so less allocation, but maybe a higher risk, higher reward trade. Yeah, I mean, the opportunities here, if we return back to some bullish candle fills, are very, very good. But realistically, let's keep it realistic, and let's not get too overboard there. Don't want to start being an analyst that just zooms out and goes, yeah, target's up here. And then that's how you get people wrecked. Yeah, I'd look for the sweep of these lows, and look for that bullish candle fill. And then I'd be looking for the overthrow potentially into these bullish candle fills on the monthly time frame. If we've got a little range here where we can get some fibs working, that'd be ideal. Move all the drawings there. Alright. This has been a level that's been manipulated a lot. I mean, I think on this retest here, there would have been a lot of people entering the market on leverage. So the market's already taken them out slightly. And now you're going to have people that try and jump the gun and enter again. So what I'm going to do is just pull the fibs on this big bearish candle. And I think that potentially down here, negative 27%, gives you a nice little entry. Of course, the market could go in again and attack the equal lows here that we've got. So what I'd do potentially for VRA, take this whole range, up and down, use the candle bodies and look for the negative 27%. Take a look at this level. That'd be the level that'd be extreme opportunity in my opinion, and we extend that out to the left. What does that coincide with? Big bullish breakout level. I think that would be a very, very nice spot level. Even a low leverage there would be great. Yeah, I think when you start looking at markets like this, when you see these pumps 1, 2, 3, psychologically we know what's happening. You're getting stop hunts, you're getting people entering trades in and around these regions. Again, people looking for this retest on this region, and the market even gave them a chance to get back out, and it's gone and stop hunted again to the downside. So first level 0.028, very big key level for a massive accumulation. Would be this level here, 0.006. quite a lot of percentage to the downside, but you have to prepare for things like this, guys. You have to prepare, and you don't want to go balls to the wall with a big buy at a level and then the market drops. But you don't want to be also sitting out the market and watching it go up as well. So that's why it always comes down to certain percentage profit takes at each time. And just setting out a plan and looking at the market outside of the box. Think of it outside the box. Look at what's going on here. And you have to try and piece the pieces of the puzzle together here. What's going on? Why are people entering on this big bullish candle? What's going on with this candle? Where are the stops? Where would I be entering a couple of years ago if I was still trying to get my head around the market? A lot of it, I'll tell you a good trick that you can do. If you've had a bit of experience in the market, a couple of years, and maybe you've been leverage trading, and one thing you can do, very good technique actually, very basic technique, is use the levels at which you used to enter trades. So let's say you see this big bullish breakout candle and you started to look for a trade at this consolidation level as the market came back down. All you've got to do is take the midpoint of that range and go on MEXC, go on Binance, go on whatever, and set your percentage, set your leverage level, what you used to use, and have a look at the liquidation level if you was to put that trade on, and just have a look at where them liquidation levels are once or twice every couple of moves down. Have a look at where them liquidation levels change, and quite often it aligns with that negative 27% Fibonacci of the range analysis. So that's just another simple way that you can, if you've got experience and you've got something to look back on of where you used to enter trades in the market and where the market used to stop on you and take you out, go on to MEXC, go on to whatever exchange you've got, put that leverage trade on, don't put it on, sorry, act as if you're going to put it on and see where the liquidation would be, and you've got your zones there where the market is likely to attack the newcomers to the market. Okay, no problem, Ranga. We've got Rio, Dylan. No problem. I know we've gone a little bit over time here, but don't mind. All I'm doing is playing a little bit of Apex at 10 o'clock. Rio. Okay. What we've potentially got here is, you know, I always like to look for these indecision candles to end moves. What I'd like to see next week is a push down into that level for the weekly time frame. You probably already know what I'm going to say there. That would give you your wick for your inverse head and shoulders for a setup to the upside, and just look for these range highs here. Just look for that range high. So let's take a look at the percent. If you want to enter on that wick, about 100%, and you know you're wrong if this low gets broken. Simple as that. If you're wrong and that low gets broken, let's look at the percentage. Let's say you enter at the bottom of that wick, low gets broken. What do you lose? You lose 5% for the opportunity of 110%. This is what we're calling high expected value trades. It doesn't have to be with leverage. You can do it with spot. Set your mental stop loss, which is always the hardest thing for people to do. But when you look at coins like this, I'll try and find one that's got a little bit more price action. There we go, that's better. Yeah, okay. Similar chart. Just look for these lows. Yeah, okay, guys. I would ignore what I've just said about this entry. I've got more price action to be working here with. Equal lows here I'd like to be getting taken. Simple range here. Look at where the market stop hunted already. Probably goes to the downside as well. Extreme entries in and around this area. Let the stops get broken. Let these liquidity levels get hit. People entering trades in and around this region likely have their stops below these levels. Think about where the market maker wants to attack for a, that looks like a free wave correction. We're potentially getting a free wave here for a 5 wave back to the upside. Nice high expected value leverage trade. Potentially spot trade. But zooming out, it's tough with coins like this. Really, really tough, because we've got nothing really to go on before this. Because it could be a wave one and we're on to much higher levels and the market extends into an overthrow into $7-10 regions from 50-60 cent. great, absolutely great. But again, set your levels where you're going to take a percentage out, because I've done it with XRP. I took quite a decent percentage out at $2 and a bit, and it's gone up to 3. And I'm not FOMOing back in. I'm not thinking I've missed out on a trade. I'm not thinking I could have had more money, because taking money from the market is a win in itself. So yeah, you've got to have that exit strategy and looking for the waves, thinking outside the box, watching the range analysis. Okay, got Avax. Alright, yep, Avax was something I was analysing back down at these levels, and we was talking about a hit back into these trend lines. So it's already done from that range analysis, 400%. It went on to do a little bit more, but nothing too extraordinary. And I think I've already marked out my levels for Avax, to be honest. If I really wanted to get a re-entry into Avax, I'd potentially be looking... In fact, guys, ignore what I'm saying here and just look at what I'm showing you. Look at what I'm showing you with this chart. Remember everything that we've just looked at, and everything that we've just looked at is kind of looking like this, where I'm saying look for these lows here to be broken. Look at what Avax did on a higher time frame here. It built up liquidity above that range, went in for the hit, and then it went for that 5-wave move to the upside. So you've almost got that free wave that we're looking for on some altcoins now into that range and looking for the big bearish candles. So this is just an example of what's happened in the past on something that we've actually just been talking about on some of them altcoins. So a perfect timing actually to come over here for Avax and have a look at what's gone on. Okay, so when we're looking at Avax from the current wave structure, could very easily be a 5-wave move here. Let's take a look at how much percentage it's come down from the highs. It's come down by about 73%, so that's enough. And it's also done what we're saying about the other altcoins, where it's coming down below these levels, taking it and going for the hit to the high. Bit of chop zone here for leverage. Avax is one, guys, we've been talking about it for ages, and it just went on a massive run. So if you've not taken profit, I mean, that was your second chance. This is your chance as well, because it's still up quite a lot. In terms of re-entry, I wouldn't really be looking for a re-entry on coins like this. I've seen coins like this go in for these types of moves, and then it just goes in for a long, drawn-out, more corrective style back down to these bullish candles. So realistically, I wouldn't really be looking at Avax here. Of course, it could be a 1-2, 1-2, but I'd still expect a little bit lower for this type of flagging out structure on the higher time frame. Just doesn't look like a bottom there for me for Avax, and then look for them higher levels. Yeah, I'd say 110, 120, big key level. Let's take a look at where the monthly levels are actually. Yeah, that monthly level, 120, key level, but it just doesn't look like it's ready to go yet. When you look at a chart and you just think, it just doesn't look ready to go. It looks like it's got a little bit of work to do in and around these regions before that move. So I won't really be looking at Avax too much. We analysed it down here. It went for its move to the upside. Big profit take, leaving some to ride to the upside. Yep. If you're not in that position, I mean, it's chop zone. The market's wanting you to enter a position for a reason. I would potentially just ignore Avax. We'll have a look. In fact, someone messaged me before the stream earlier. They asked for a coin. Let me just remember. Oh yeah, I remember what it was. It was, I think it was Matic. I think it was Matic. We'll have a look at Matic. Need something with more price action. There we go. Yeah, okay, for Matic, very similar style of what we're looking for here. Big monthly wicks here that we're looking for Matic to come in and take out. I'd be looking for 0.23 for an ending move here for Matic. So from what I'm seeing, we've got a little bit of liquidity building up here. I'd look for the drive and the overthrow into this region. Think about this big bullish candle. People probably entering longs up here. Take the range of this big bullish candle. Look for the negative 27%. There's your first zone. And we take the bigger range, negative 27% again. There's your second zone. It likely, I don't think, gets down to these levels. I think that's too much. So I'd be looking for this empty space for the market makers to attack before, again, that type of move where we just saw in Avax to do something like that. So we'll have a look at Jasmi. It's probably not the best chart. If you can, guys, if you know which one has the most price action, which exchange, just let me know. That'll help out. Okay, we can do some work here on this. So Jasmi has kind of already gone in for that free hit of the wick-to-wick trend line with the little overthrow there, and the market makers to come back down. Again, people likely entering trades here for a retrace, people likely entering trades here for a move down. So I would expect this range to chop in and around this region for a little bit before both sides get taken, really. The downside levels look like they want to get taken first. Look at all of these equal lows down here. Big liquidity, guys. What we can do is switch to the weekly time frame. Remove all of this. Might give us a bit of a clue, bit of a better clue. Okay, yeah, I would say this is a nice little chart, trend line. You got a couple of regions here, 1, 2, 3, breakout retest. I'd look for a drive down into this level, and that would mean all of these lows get broken, and it comes into this big bullish candle. Potentially not all the way down, potentially not all the way back down there. But let's take a look at where the percentages of these big bullish candle come in at. And we'll potentially just look for 50% of that. There we go. 50% of that big bullish candle. Magnet annoys me sometimes on TradingView. There you go. So you look for the downside move. 1 tap, 2 tap. Hit all the stops. Then go. Look for these levels. Big corrective style wave structure. WXY. It could be more drawn out. But yeah, you can see how everything that we're looking at here is potentially not finishing moves. We're looking at some extra moves that we want to see, and then it could be ready to go in for the big higher time frame retraces back to these levels. But just a little bit more working out to do on some of these altcoins. And what I'd like to do is just take a look at the total market cap, bring it all back to what we've been looking at for the last year and a half or 2 years. Total market cap to me, again, like I say, I think we're looking at around that 5-6 trillion mark for a top. I've already explained how and why with the rotations in the market. But ending sequences to market cycles, they tend to come with so much volatility, things like that. So you're going to end up with so many trades where markets pump and altcoins pump and things like XRP and HBAR lead and then other altcoins lag and then they catch up. It's all about spotting the wave structure on the lower time frame and the medium time frame for these alts like we've just looked at. And really looking outside the box, looking at what the market makers want to do. Yeah, and just thinking outside the box. What do the market makers want to do at this stage of the cycle? They want to draw people in. They want to take people out numerous times. They want to give people a bit of success. How do they do all that in one go? It's a tough job that the market makers have got, but they do a very good job of it. Yeah, the volatility is going to increase. It's going to get worse for people trying to manage their emotions. This is the time where people think it's the greatest, but it's actually not. This is the greatest part of the cycle. The time, the DCAing over time, the sitting back, relaxing, not too many moves happening in the weeks, low volatility. Then the first move happens, volatility arrives, volatility gets worse, gets even worse. People think, yep, how did people not just extend? How did people not win in this market? And it's because of all of the psychological drives and the range manipulation and everything that goes on. So we've still got quite a few people viewing the channel here, more than last week, so that's why we've gone on a little bit longer. We'll go on to Hive. I'm assuming you mean the crypto. Hive AI. Okay, not much on there. Ooh, okay, this is a good chart. Hive BTC. This is exactly what we want to be looking at, actually. I hope you're alright with this, Jay. Oh, okay. Hive. The miner. This. Okay. Hive Digital Technologies. Is that the one? I mean, it looks to be accumulation to me. Let's take a look at the breakout level there. Yeah, I mean, the market's already gone and deviated once, come back and retested. Let's look at where the liquidity is here. It's there. It's there. It's there. It's there. Untapped highs. How many times have we got the tapped lows? We've got 1, 2, 3. Yeah, the market seems to have manipulated people at the lows. Which, I mean, look for this little gap fill maybe. I'd be looking for these highs to get taken. There would be the regions I'd be looking at. Decent TPs for Hive, if you are to get that move. And let's take a look at this trend line, see what's going on here. Yeah, alright. So you've got the wick to body trend line there on the weekly time frame. Just get it bang on there. There we go. You've got your first couple of tests. Market seems like it wants to take out this low here to go in for a drive to the upside for an overthrow of the trend line. Yeah, I think that kind of move. It's all aligning with the altcoins really, that final little boop, and then to go to the upside. Obviously, for a high time frame perspective, it could go back to them retrace levels. And if you're so bullish on the stock, I don't know the fundamentals, but creating an exit plan along the way for leaving some for the all-time highs at these key levels would potentially be my strategy, and looking for that level down there. You see, like, people always say about financials, but take a look at that financial that came out here. It was actually one of the best times to enter. And then the green financial there, it was one of the better times to take profit. So, yeah, when people ask about these financials and the thing, it's always just about market manipulation, guys. It's all, in my opinion, just best to ignore the bottom of the financials and just stick to the charts. It's almost what we had, like, remember in Lumen, where we had, get that message out off the screen. We did all the analysis even on YouTube just for free down here, outlining that move back to $10. It got there for the gap fill. Nearly got the gap fill, didn't quite. And look at all the financials down around these. Red. 1000% move. Market didn't care. It's just market liquidity, market manipulation. So yeah, they're my overall thoughts, guys, on the market. Couple of different altcoins, bit on Bitcoin on total market caps. I think I did enough on the total market caps really in the last stream. We've gone a bit over time. Wanted to try and stick to 30 minutes. We've done more, closer to an hour. But yeah, hope that's all right. Cheers again, guys, for all being here. Appreciate it a lot. All the support. We've got a nice community. It's not too emotional. And we all love it when we wake up and we've got ash. We don't know what ash we're going to get. We're going to get bullish ash. Or we're going to get bearish ash. We absolutely love it, don't we, guys? Yeah. So take it easy. Sit back, relax, let the market do the work. Again, these types of moments in the market are, we've got opportunities. Think outside the box. Look for the range manipulations. All the techniques I'm showing you here have worked for me. So hopefully in the future, it can absolutely work for you as well. So yeah, sit back, relax, let the market do the work. Take it easy. It's not financial advice. See you later, guys.